Can you dig it? Here comes Shaft again. Let's talk about Shaft's big score. Big D's entertainment rankings and reviews. Right on. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1972 blaxploitation action crime film Shaft's Big Score. Released by MGM, directed by Gordon Parks, who directed its predecessor, bringing back Richard Roundtree as our title character of Private Detective John Shaft. Ernest Timan, who of course wrote the Shaft stories, returns as the writer. Also, Moses Gunn and Drew Bundy Brown return as well. Plus some new appearances from acting veterans like Joseph Mascolo, Julius Harris, and Joe Santos. Now, Isaac Hayes turned down an offer to score the film, though he did contribute the song Type Thing to the film, which you hear at the film's opening credits. So Mr. Parks himself, a musician, composed and performed the score himself. The film came close to being as big as its predecessor, though, and received mixed reviews like its predecessor. Critics praised the improved production values and direction, but criticized it as lacking the charm and appeal of the original, which I completely do understand. Now, before I go into the story, if you haven't seen my review of the original Shaft, click on the card. And it'll take and watch my review of that before you go into this one, alright? Alright. I'll give you a few seconds to do that as I get things ready. Alright, that'll do it. Alright, now on with the story. Queens private detective John Shaft is contacted by his old friend Cal Asby, an insurance salesman and mortician, who tells him he's in trouble and asks him to come immediately. But as soon as he arrives, Asby is killed by a bomb planted inside of his house. Shaft is questioned by a suspicious police Captain Bolin, but is quickly released due to a lack of evidence. Asby's business partner, Johnny Kelly, owes mob boss Gus Mascola $250,000 in past gambling debts, money he had planned to take from his partner but had been moved and hidden before his death. Asby's house is ransacked before Shaft, Kelly, and Asby's sister Arna can investigate. When the perpetrator runs out, Kelly blocks Shaft from chasing him while pretending to help. Suspicious, Shaft tells Arna that he wants to inspect Asby and Kelly's partnership papers, warning Kelly he intends to protect Arna. Bolin reveals to Shaft that Asby and Kelly were running a numbers racket with the insurance company and funeral parlor as profitable fronts, but because they agreed to keep the scam clean, he looked the other way. Now that Asby is dead, however, Bolin fears that the mob will move in to take over their business. Although Bolin suspects that Shaft may be involved with one of the gangsters, he asks him to help, and Shaft coolly agrees. Shaft forces one of Kelly's runners to reveal the location of the operation's headquarters. Upon arriving, he is seduced by Kelly's mistress, Rita, as revenge for her lover's mistreatment. While the two have a little sex, Kelly is threatened by Mascola, who demands not only to be paid, but to be made an equal partner in the operation. Kelly is reluctant, telling the mobster that he is worried about Shaft's interference on Arna's behalf. But after Mascola promises to take care of Shaft, Kelly agrees to a 50-50 partnership. Shaft goes over the partnership papers with Anna and explains that although her brother was involved in gambling, he was reinvesting in the community, unlike the greedy Kelly. He also tells her that Asby had agreed to buy Kelly out, and that Kelly was going to use the money to pay his debts. Shaft believes that Kelly instead killed Asby to gain control of the business and the numbers racket, as well as to retain the $250,000 to pay Mescola. As they are talking, two of Mescola's hitmen arrive to murder Shaft, but he outwits them and after killing the assassins, takes Anna to hide at his apartment. Well then, now I decide that I'm going to take a chance. Go to the final act in the ending. Now you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue on after the 5 seconds are over with. Thank you, and here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Now, Kelly offers Harlem racketeer Bumpy Jones a partnership in the Queen's Numbers game if he will help him break with Mascola. Knowing that the action will cause a major turf war, Bumpy agrees but demands a 60-40 split. Shaft goes to Mascola's nightclub, which fronts for his gambling operations in the back rooms. Seeing Shaft at the club, Kelly, who is attempting to double-cross both Mascola and Bumpy, confronts Mascola, demanding to know why Shaft is still alive. Mascola reveals that Shaft killed the two men he sent, and when he declares that their deal is off, Kelly lies that Shaft works for Bumpy and is there to muscle in on his territory. Infuriated, Mascola has his men beat Shaft, then orders him to tell Bumpy to stay in Harlem. Shaft relays the message to Bumpy just as Mascola's men attempt a drive-by shooting, leading to Bumpy agreeing to join forces with the detective. Shaft overhears that Kelly has discovered the location of the $250,000 in a nearby cemetery, and with Rita's help, manages to evade police and make his way there. Mascola and his men take a helicopter to the cemetery, and just as Kelly raises the coffin with the money, killing him and taking it, Shaft arrives and holds up the group, taking the money and Mascola hostage. They flee via speedboat as Mascola's men pursue in a helicopter, shooting and destroying the boat and inadvertently killing Mascola. Shaft escapes the explosion and hides the bag, clambering over the docks in a cat and mouse chase with Mascola's men before destroying the helicopter and killing its occupants. Police led by Bolin arrive and demand to know the location of the money. Shaft refuses, but implies he will be donating it to a child care clinic as Asby had always intended. End of story. So what did I think of Shaft's big score? Well, I gotta say, it was awesome. I like it almost as much as the first one. Well, I do agree that Craig's saying it lacks the charm and appeal of the original, which that's understandable. But nevertheless, it does provide a lot of good action, what have you. I mean, the action with the final end, the docks, was really awesome. And I really did enjoy the performances we got from Richard Roundtree as Shaft. And of course, we have Moses Gunn back as Bumpy and Drew Bundini Brown as Willie. Joseph Mascola plays Mascola. Let's see. And Julius Harris plays Captain Bolin. Let's see. We have Rosalind Miles as Arna Asby. And Joe Santos as Andy Pasco. So anyway, yeah. The cast isn't too bad, though. The story was reasonably pretty good, too. Gordon Parks' direction's good, and I do like his score as well. I mean, they may not have brought Isaac Hayes back, but however, Parks' score is just as good. Not quite as good as Isaac Hayes' score, but it manages to pull some stuff off, though. But anyway, it still did well. And overall, it has gone to make 10 million overall after being released on physical media for the next few years. So anyway, this film was still pretty darn awesome. So in the end, would I recommend Shaft's big score? I'd say hell yeah, you need to give this one a shot. I mean, you might like this, you may not. You be the judge. But that's just from my point of view, but you don't have to take my word for it. Again, you be the judge. Anyway, the next year it was preceded by another film, and that being Shaft in Africa, which is what I'm going to be focusing later on. So anyway, what are your thoughts on Shaft's big score? You can tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And I will have a review of Shaft in Africa coming up tomorrow, but next time I'm going to bring to you a special spoiler-free review of the new Kevin James movie now on Netflix called Home Team. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, you may want to consider checking out my reviews for some of these other films that were pretty kicking. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of the original Die Hard from 1988. The upper right-hand corner is my review of Roger Moore's first outing as James Bond 007 in Live and Let Die, which came out the following year after this, the same year that Shaft in Africa came out. Or if you want another blaxploitation flick, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review for the 1974 supernatural flick Sugar Hill. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.